everybody, welcome back to Stringman Guitars. We're down here in the underground lair with a Spector bass, I believe made in the Czech Republic. Nice bass. Thank you to all who have subscribed. If you like what you see on our channel here, please subscribe. Tell your friends. If you live in Pittsburgh and you need your axe sharpened, simply hit us up on Facebook and send an instant message, or stringmanguitars@gmail.com. Let's get into this. Spector 5-string. Okay, so we've seen one of these before, at least a very similar model. It's got a rosewood fingerboard. It has got nice beefy Grover tuners. It's got a brass nut. It's got EMGs. One of the complaints is there's too much output in his EMGs, so that may be something we're going to fix. But we're going to do a whole setup and see where we're at. The first thing that we got to do is to see the very first, let's just see where we're at so we can see where we need to go. We're going to measure at the 17th fret, and we want 12-inch or 12th thou relief, and the truss rod is 2 bent. There's probably 16 thou release there. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to check the truss rod to make sure it works before we go any further. So we need our little screwdriver. Take the screws out. Got our wrenches. Yeah, it's a 4. So let's just see. Oh yeah, it moves nicely. Already know I'm going to tighten it up. So let me get a hold of Buddy and find out what tuning he uses on this. Okay, so I just heard from him, and he says that he uses A tuning. So instead of B, this will be at A. We have a B that's set to A. We have an E that's set to D. We have a that's set to G. We have a D that's set to C. And we have a G that's set to F. So a whole step down. Alright, now that everything is tuned up, let's see where we're at with the truss rod. 17th fret, 7th fret, 3, 5, 7, and we still have to tighten it up. Being that we're a whole step down, I'm not worried about putting too much tension on the neck because the tension's already released. About a third of a turn. Okay, let's see if that adjustment made us right with the truss rod. Oh yeah, there we go. Right there where we want to be. Now let's check our string height. And I want 7/64 for the big floppy string because it has the biggest ellipse, and I'd like to see 6/64 and work it down to 5/64 on the G, which is a F. No, G, F, Fs. Once again, measuring at the 17th fret, we are at 8/64. We are at 7/64. I wouldn't touch that. We're at 6/64. I wouldn't touch that. We are at a little over 5/64, and we are right at 5/64. That's exactly where I want the string height, except for that one. We're going to bring that one down some. And we have metric, so we're going to go with metric. Okay. There we go. Put the Phillips head away, and we're going to drop this down just a little bit. Somebody wants to talk to me. One thing I always check here too, which might just throw everything out the window. Nope, it actually looks pretty good, with the exception of that. That's good, that's good, that's good, and that's good. So we're going to drop this one down a little bit. And what I was referring to as far as what looks good and whatnot is you want the saddle to be level with the base of the bridge. Reevaluate the situation. They have a lock here I forgot about, right here on either side. It keeps your saddles from falling out when you change your strings. So there was an adjustment in the preamp. Alright. And I see another problem. This is a little loose here, so we're going to fix that. It's just a little micro cube amp. It's all it wants to do is fart. Let's see if we can turn this down a little bit. Not that way, we're not. Now it's not making any noise. Yeah, it's wide open. Louder than that. Also notice the pickups are really close. So we're going to go a little bit louder. Just a hair. And we'll see what that brings us. See what we're dealing with. I was out of frame. There's a little screw on the side of this preamp that's a gain control. Let's see if we can tighten this down some. Yeah, that I like that a lot better. Thing was just hanging out of the end of the guitar. There we go. Now it's up against the washer. Okay, I got ahead of myself here. So far we've tightened the bushings on the tuners, we tightened down the bridge, well, snugged everything. Snugged the screws on the back of the tuning machines, snugged the strap buttons. Now we're stringing it, and I forgot to show you my little trick for getting these silly end pins to stay while you're up at the other end trying to do your work. Put a piece of tape there. I use frog tape. And then up at this end here, if the string wants to live here, we're going to take it and measure about a total of 4 posts worth of length. So if the string wants to live here, we're going to go 1, 2, 3 posts to get the right number of wraps. And I always put these at the 2 o'clock position on the top row, and the bottom 2 I put at 11 o'clock position, and that just allows me to get a good starting point for doing the wraps. Sorry my hand's in the way here, but you want the wraps to go underneath the string above, and you want them to stay tight together to avoid any future tuning issues. And I've also put some guitar grease in the nut slot. Now we can come back over here and take the green tape off and put the last string on, but you get the idea. Okay, so we got our stringed up. We polished the frets, and they are like mirrors. Cleaned and oiled the fingerboard. What's a weird bend that camera is doing. Beautiful flame maple top. And yeah, beautiful guitar, man. Polished frets, new strings. Ta-da! Okay, so it's tuned up. Let's see if the neck stayed where I put it. 17th fret, 12th thou. Yep, I'm not touching that. String height, let's see what that looks like now. We were at 7/64, and we're at 7/64. We're at a little more than 5/64. Yeah, this has all got to work its way out. Everything's down a little bit. I'm going to let it sit overnight, and we're going to come back, and after everything's acclimated to being adjusted, we'll go ahead and get ready to go. Okay, it's now 12 minutes to midnight, and we let our Spector sit since 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Decided to come down tonight and do this, and we are at almost 7/64 on the B. We are at 6/64 on the E. We are at less than 6/64, not quite 5/64 on the A. We are a little more than 5/64 on the D, and we are at 5/64 on the G, which are all one step lower than what I just read off to you. And we checked our intonation. It is spot on now. So the only thing, and I tightened up both of the set screws on the bridge. Last thing I want to do is check the pickup height. And then we might have to go in after I take it upstairs and plug it into my real bass amp and plug it into the real bass amp and see what it sounds like. But yeah, there's no fret buzz. Slow and fast. Let's just do these pickup heights and go to bed. Alright. I will have to double check the intonation after I do this because pickups are too high. So we're going to drop the pickups down a little bit. It may have something to do with him having too much gain on the preamp. Okay, that's good. And that's too high. That may be pulling the strings down and causing the intonation to be off. Too far. This is a beautiful bass. Okay, we're going to split the difference there. There we go. Now the treble side's going to be a little closer. That's actually right on. And that one can come down a little bit. Good, good, good. Okay. Let's just double check that intonation now that we got those magnets down out of the way. Strings are still stretching a little bit. So that is a B tuned to an A, or we're trying to achieve A. I really like how these frets polished up too. There's no grittiness to them anymore. Okay, the A is on. Now the D is on. The G Once again, that would be the A string tuned down a step. The D tuned down to a C is on. And the G tuned down to an F is on. So we got our string height, got our brand new strings. Man, isn't that a sexy looking bass. Spector. So we got at least 2 wraps on every machine head. So we polished the frets, we cleaned the fingerboard, we hit the fingerboard with some F1 oil, and now it doesn't look as thirsty. We got the pickup height set right. I'm going to take it up in the morning and check it with my big amp upstairs. We adjusted the preamp. We may have to come back and readjust that. Otherwise, I'll call Buddy tomorrow and tell him to get this out of my house. If you live in the Pittsburgh area and you'd like to have your axe sharpened like this Spector, please hit us up on Facebook under Stringman Guitars. Just hit me an instant message. We'll set you up. If you like what you see here, please hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell. You know what? I'd love you a long time. Anyhow, take care of yourself. Love your neighbor like you love yourself. Take care of the old folks. Stay safe. Be patient with people because everybody's stressing out over the new variant and stuff like that. Just breathe in, breathe out. Take care of the other people by putting a mask on. Simple as that. Anyhow, be good. Thanks to all my subscribers, all those who give on Patreon. Thank you. Peace. Have a great night.